Remember how I said I was going to have a drive swap Jamboree? Well, I don't think I said it on YouTube, but I certainly did say it. That is what we're going to do today. So we're going to start with this one. This is the compact Presario A900, and it is going to be donating its drive for future use. So it's going to be getting another new drive. I'm going to be reinstalling the OS on it, although I don't really have to. I'm going to. Actually, before I do that, the one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that the drive was actually any good. So, hold on just a second. Alright, it's got a Hitachi 160 gigabyte drive in it right now, which is why I say I want to check it before I put it in something else, because I want to make sure that it's actually a good drive, because it might not be, which might be exactly why it's in here. Which would mean that this would actually be getting a new drive. Well, the drive that I'm planning on putting in it isn't going to be much better. Or isn't going to be a good drive either. But I don't want to put this into something that I care about. And it's got a smart error. I usually like that. And it's not a very good drive, is it? No, it's not as bad as I was expecting. It's probably okay. It's a low energy drive. A lot of reallocated sectors. I'm putting it into a netbook. Yeah, I'm going to just do it anyway. Then if I find a better 160, I'll just change it. So we can go ahead and pull that out. Pull this down. And kind of show you what I'm doing. Pull this drive out. Like I said, I'm going to reinstall the OS on this one, even though I don't really have to, because it probably would be faster that way. I can't use any... Well, I could probably use Windows disk cloning software, but this is going to be the last machine to get a drive anyway, so... Let's grab this. Actually, it's an Apple drive. I think I know where this came from. And this probably came out of the HP 2000 originally. And we could grab our netbook and run a backup on it. That's what I'm going to do. The battery is no good in the netbook, so I'm going to have to plug it in. Fortunately, that's not too difficult. I don't really want to plug it in there because that's powered on and plugged into it. I'm running updates. I don't know how good the battery in that is. Probably not very good. Because it's an HP product, so... Not that an Acer product is much better. Well, actually Acer is much better than HP is. But I'd rather have a Dell, man. Did it actually work? Yeah, it did. Cool. So, power that up. With its freshly repaired Windows installation. Don't know if you saw that video or not. Little how-to. I need my little external thing. I'm not using the whole enclosure. I actually can't find any of my other ones right now, so I'm using one borrowed off of my main computer. The nice thing about this requiring an external mouse is that I can do this without having to be right up against the machine. See, it shows up as a caution drive. What I'm going to do, once this opens, is yeah, see, it's got no idea about what that is. Although it knows this, it's an ext partition, but it doesn't know about the swap at the end. So, we're going to clone this to that. Copy all of that. Last partition shrunk to fit. Sounds good to me. Everything should be fine. So we could just hit next and finish on that one. And it should start, hopefully, relatively shortly. Okay, and almost 2 whole hours later, it is now basically done. So what I should be able to do is close out of this. Clone completed in 1 hour and 31 minutes. Yeah. So that took quite a fair amount of time. And that wasn't really a lot of data either, so... This process might take longer than a day. I might have to continue working on this tomorrow. I'll just leave the power in. There's no screws there, so I'll just pull that out. Pull this out. It's actually kind of hot. Actually, it's more than kind of hot. But what do you expect for a Seagate hard drive? Oh, come on. This drive is actually going to be a spare drive from this point onwards. Because I've got another 320 gig drive, courtesy of Ross, who was generous enough to hand it to me. It's Western Digital, which I trust far more than I do a Seagate. And I just realized that I was actually not showing what was going on at all. Oops. Well, oh well. It's not like I can go back and redo it. Well, I could, but it would be a waste of time. I don't really have time to waste, so... I'll have to see if I can find more of these type of screws. I probably have a couple of them sitting around somewhere. Put that in place. Put this door back on. Does not sit on very nicely. Need to plug that mouse back in, but I don't need to plug the other thing in. Fire it back up. Hello. And hopefully it will work. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that the Spectre Meltdown patch has nerfed the performance of this netbook, which is kind of unfortunate. It was a lot faster before I installed all those updates. Now it's kind of slow. Probably should install all the updates before I put it away, but I'm not going to. Speaking of putting things away, I can go ahead and put this Seagate hard drive away. Eat it. I was really thinking about this beforehand. I would have started the transfer over to this 320 before, or while I was doing this, but I didn't think about that, so... Oh well, it's kind of too late now, isn't it? Remember what I said about performance being nerfed? I might have to do some disk defragmenting or optimizing or something else to this, because this is not very good. Welcome, it says. Wow, this couldn't be any slower. This is terrible. This is a different drive, too, so I know it's not the drive. But I do think this drive is in worse shape than the one that I pulled out. I think the one that I pulled out was just fine. And this one is not. Okay, it's asking me to reboot. I'm not going to do that right now, because I know why it wants me to reboot. The drive has now shown up. It is not in very good shape, as you may or may not be able to tell here. Let's go ahead and get some zoom on that. So you can see it's not in the best of shape, but it's there, and everything seems to be working. So I'm going to call that one good and done, and I'm going to just move on to the next one. Why is that? Okay, so I have no idea why that alarm clock went off, just that it did. Normally I'd edit that kind of stuff out of the video, but I think I'm going to leave that in there because it's actually kind of funny. But here's our next contestant. This is the HP 2000 computer, and it's got an SSHD in it right now. At least as far as I know, it's got an SSHD in it. I'm not particularly fond of the SSHD, but it's going to come out of here and go into another machine that I want to give more storage space to, if it will actually even boot. Alright, so open up Reflect. She's going to complain. I need your permission. Why do you need that? I wonder if there's anything on this drive. I hope not. Now I'm curious. Well, let's find out. I suppose we can find out. go on to... Oh wow, that got totally messed up. Get out of here. Yeah, there is something on it, but it looks pretty empty to me. It's telling me that an optical mouse is ready for use. Well, guess what I'm using right now? It's a stupid piece of junk. I hate Windows 10. It's such a terrible operating system. Alright, so now that I've done that, cleared all that out, go ahead and image the disk. Oh, sorry, not image the disk, clone the disk. Obviously want to clone to that. Copy the partitions. Everything there should be good to go. Just hit next. Finish. I do want to clear all that out, that's just fine. And then the clone will start. And it'll probably take another 2 hours in order to finish. 6 tries and about 3.5 hours later, the process completed. But did it actually work? Now look at that crappy I/O performance. This goes to show you there's something wrong with the drive on this machine. Even though it's supposed to be a hybrid drive and it's supposed to be faster as it gets older, it doesn't. Well, faster the longer you use it. But so far it has not. But it looked like it actually did work, because this time I actually have 2 partitions on that drive. That would be this one right here. Yeah, they're both there, so... Somehow or another I've got less used space, though. I don't know how that happens. Okay. So if you're wondering how to do this yourself, you pretty much have to remove everything. All the doors have to come off and the battery has to come out. But, then this comes out. You gotta remove all the screws from it. I forgot that this is the one with that crap caddy on it. Or caddy. It's really just 2 pieces of metal with some plastic in between. It's got a little lip that you can use to lift up on the drive if you need it. Which you'll probably actually have to use. Okay, so how much do you want to bet that it actually won't work? I don't think it will. The fact that there was less storage space used is kind of a red flag. Seems to be okay so far. Come on, computer, I don't have all night. I've got other things to do. It's probably trying to load some obscure thing that nobody ever cares about. Holy crap. I could load Windows 2 on a 286 faster than this. It's terrible. Progress, folks. Progress. What progress? Alright, now it's time for this one. This will be going in there. It's a pretty simple process. This one's probably going to take the longest because it's got the most stuff on it. Alright. We are logging in. Not very quickly, however. Usually it's a little faster than this. I don't know what's taking so long. Probably because I plugged in a new drive. I have no idea what it is. I'm not going to run updates or anything like that. I just want the Reflect program. I'll run updates later. It's got a 160 gig drive in it right now, I believe. Yeah, it's only a 160 right now, so the 500 is going to be a much welcomed improvement. Alright, clone, select that, copy partitions, properties, maximum size, finish. Do not care. So now that process is going to take forever. Oh, that's actually not going to take as long as I was expecting. But it's not going to be fast either. And that was painless. I don't know what took the HP 2000 so long to clone a hard drive, but it did. So, I want to see what the specs on that were. Yeah, the read speed is rather high and the rate's rather low, but of course it's going to USB, so who is surprised by the fact that the rates are slow? Not me. Writing to USB has always been slow. Of course, USB 2.0 was supposed to solve that problem, and well, it sure didn't. It's still slow as ever. Alright, get out of here. I'm going to reboot. I'm going to install this new drive, and well, I'll shut it down. I'll install the new drive, and then I'll start it back up. And then we should be ready to do the last one, which is going to be an OS reinstall. Okay, now I actually don't remember where the hard drive is on this machine. So, first of all, I'm going to have to find my screwdriver, which keeps consistently disappearing. It's right there. I believe that it's here. I believe. I mean, that would make sense. You never know sometimes with this stuff. I thought I was supposed to just slide off. Oh, gotta love computers when they decide they're not gonna do your job. Come on. There we go. There's the hard drive. Cool. So at least I had it in the right place. Now the issue I think I'm gonna run into is that this is a thin drive, so it probably isn't gonna fit in there as nicely as it really should. Put the video light on, which will destroy my battery, but it'll allow you to actually see what I'm doing. Because I'm running out of light. I believe that having a thin drive in here might be a problem. I might have to put something underneath that to keep that from flopping around. I think for now I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I'm probably going to put something underneath that to keep it from flopping around. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I just put something underneath it, so that's good. That should now hopefully stay in place. Now, hopefully this isn't going to behave. But something tells me that it will not. Where's the screw? Yep, it's not behaving. Of course it's not. It's typically happens with computer equipment when I play around with it. What on earth? Alright, now that the computer is done being entirely stupid, it's all in place. This is messed up. I have to fix that. Oh, gotta plug in the power. That's probably very important. It doesn't have a battery, so. And I put the wrong drive back in. Okay, so as you can see, now it's working. Now everything is fine. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to set that machine aside. I'm actually going to be moving data off of the music drive that's on my primary music player computer so I can update this music library and get that all done. I might not do that tonight. I don't know if I care enough, but now we can move on to the last machine on this video, and that's going to be a reinstallation. So I'm going to have to find my Bodhi Linux disk and reinstall it and get everything going that way. I'm not real sure where the incredibly narrow field of view on this camcorder came from. I swear it had a wider field of view when I started the video, but whatever. It's probably just the positioning of the tripod, which I hate, but I'm using anyway because people complain when I shake the camera around all over the place and give them vertigo. So I'll go ahead and turn that on, the video light, which will sap my battery, but you'll actually be able to see what I'm doing, because that's another thing that people complain about all the time, even though I've got lighting sufficient for a football stadium in here. And there's plenty of light. So I'm going to make the assertion that the reason why you can't see anything is because you need to get eyeglasses. Alright. Those of you who are particularly astute will probably notice that this is a ThinkPad hard drive caddy. Does it make a difference? No. But you can't get the hard drive caddies for these anymore. At least I haven't seen any on eBay, not even from your friendly Pacific Rim eBay sellers. So, gotta use what I have. I have that lying around. Rather than send that to scrap, I might as well use it for this. So, that in place. Put this in place. There's got to be some kind of an unwritten rule that everything I do must go wrong in some way. And so it is, and I'm pretty sure changing this drive, I'm going to run into a fatal problem. Maybe the drive is bad or something. I don't know. I hope not. I don't exactly have a bevy of spare drives. And I got to find the power supply adapter for that and my Bodhi Linux disk, and then we can continue on with the process. Well, that's a welcome change. I managed to find everything without screwing around. I gotta be quick about this so that I can get that in there before it decides it's gonna complete the power on self-test. I think if I remember right, I did this Linux installation live originally. Alright, finally. Holy crap, that didn't take too long, now did it? Close that. Wireless is on, but I'll connect it to that later. Shouldn't need it right now. I'm going to try and not block the camera, but I can't guarantee that it'll work. System tools should be under here. Where's the installer? It's under preferences. That's a dumb place for it. I think I mentioned that the last time I tried doing this. That things were in very stupid places. Alright, connection established. Cool. So we'll continue. Download updates when installing. Sure, why not? I will install the third-party software. I don't know why it takes so long to enumerate disks, but it does. It used to not take as long. In fact, it used to be practically instant. I don't know why it can't be instant anymore. Nothing's changed. So, I don't want Windows 7 because that probably won't even boot on this anyway. And I know that that one over there works. So we will erase the disk and install. We don't need encryption. We don't need logical volume management. Continue. Apparently it has no idea where I am. Don't know why it can't figure that out. Since that's fairly straightforward. Continue. And gotta enter in details. Well, that's a first. You disabled the screensaver too fast. How dare it tell me when I can and cannot disable the screensaver? Sure, we'll enable presentation mode, because that's what it should be in the first place. On a live CD, when you're doing an installation. Don't know why these people can't figure that out on their own. And complete. Reboot now. Big question, will it eject my disk for me? Or will I have to do that myself? Be prepared to eject the disk on the... Well, it did it on its own. Cool. Then you should get this, and then I can finally conclude this video. After taking entirely way too long. I think I've been working at this for about a week now. See, the problem is that I don't have time during the week to do any of this stuff. I have to wait until the weekend, so if something takes more than the weekend, then it sits until next weekend. Okay, well I enabled automatic login and it seems to have completely ignored that, so I already have very high hopes for this. Yeah, how nice of it. There's something in the upper corner, I don't know what it is. So I'm going to quick start guide. I wonder if it's the same one that's on the desk. Yeah, it's the same one that's on the CD, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to just get rid of it. Don't need it. I already know what I'm doing. I've got to go into settings. Maybe it's in preferences. I don't know. Menus, advanced files, launchers, settings, extensions, preferences. Okay, maybe it's under here. Nope. Okay, well, the user preferences should be somewhere. It can't just be nowhere. That's not possible. Builder, system update, system settings. I bet you that's the same thing that I was just in. That's a little different. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. Okay, I can't find it, so I guess we won't be doing that, and I'm just gonna be concluding the video at that. So, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP66 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then, video over, process done. That's it.